Hey, this is Heather Blackman. I'm standing at the entrance to Lions Head Village, and as you can see, the snow is coming down. So we've got lots to catch you up on today, talk about some upcoming events, obviously the weather and the traffic, and we're also going to talk a little bit about some ways to pick a fun new activity to help you get started. And so you're watching Vail Valley Live.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Vail Valley Live on this Tuesday morning, January 3rd. We just saw Heather out there in Lions Head in the snow. Yes, it is coming down again this morning. We had some snow yesterday, a little bit of sunshine, patchy clouds going on as well, but we'll let you know what's going to happen with the weather and how you can plan your Tuesday. We have a lot of kids that are still out of school. I know Eagle County is out of school right now, so you'll probably see a lot of local kids heading up on the hill today. A lot of families from other places across the nation continuing their holiday vacation throughout the week. So have fun out there. It's been awesome. We did get 3 inches of new snow at Beaver Creek, 2 over at Vail in the last 24 hours. So we've got a lot of great news out there and tons of snow and tons of terrain open for you as well. If you have any questions for us throughout the show, Heather and I can answer those for you. You can ask those in the chat. So you can chat with us on either YouTube or Facebook, 2 different platforms you can watch us on. It's always nice. I'll watch it on the phone. I'll be at the gym and I'll even be watching it on my phone so I can keep up with what's going on in the Vail Valley. You can also watch us on Outside Television, Channel 17, which is on Comcast, Xfinity Comcast. So check your condo, check the hotel room, or even check your home and get us on there in case you're busy using your phone or your device for something else this morning. But thanks for watching us. Let's get right to the weather because we do have another snowy day in store for us. Right now, up on Vail Mountain, 10 degrees, 11 over at Beaver Creek. That 2 inches of new snow at Vail, 3 over at Beaver Creek. We already have 153 inches season to date at Vail, which is pretty awesome. Now, we did have that winter storm warning yesterday, and it kind of was a dud. It didn't really produce too much snow. And I was out there on the hill. I was on Vail Mountain yesterday, and it was, so we're only in a winter weather advisory now until 6 a.m. on Wednesday. So a little less severe than a winter storm warning, but we have a 70% chance of showers likely for today, mainly after 3 p.m. So we could have an easier morning, easier afternoon, and then heavier snow this afternoon after 3. Total daytime accumulation anywhere from 1 to 2 inches possible on the lower elevations, could be higher up at the higher elevations. And then maybe another 1 to 2 overnight tonight. Our winds could get a little gusty this evening as well, maybe as much as 20 miles per hour this evening. And then on Wednesday, a 20% chance of snow showers, and that'll kind of taper off by about late morning. And then we'll have mostly cloudy skies. Our temperatures today will be into the mid-20s, and then tomorrow, mid-20s once again. Our overnight lows, though, wow, look at these, single digits for tomorrow night, Thursday night, Friday night as well, and then Friday, another chance of snow. So we get a little break in the action. Maybe on Thursday would be the good day to go out and do a picnic in Blue Sky Basin, enjoy some of those grills and the great views that you get from that area. And keep in mind, Blue Sky Basin, that closes first on Vail Mountain. I was over on Pizza Express earlier this week, and they close at about 2:15 or so. And then the other lifts close a little bit later, and then back bowls at 3, and then the front side at 3:30. So plan your day accordingly. But let's bring in Heather right now and see what it feels like out there. Heather, you've only been standing out there for a few minutes. It's an amazing how much snow has already accumulated on your hat.
I know. I do feel like this hat seems to accumulate maybe a little faster for some reason, maybe the kind of yarn that is used, but it's chilly. I have a couple of layers of gloves on, and I definitely have boot warmers in my shoes this morning. So layer up. but it's not too windy. And so for me, if it's not super windy, I think it's a lot easier
Yeah.
to deal with the colder temps. So
Y-
not too bad.
You know what? So yesterday I went skiing on Vail Mountain, and that classic, like, you're getting ready and you're like, oh, I don't need that extra layer, and I didn't put it
Yeah.
on, and it was fine at the beginning when I was out there skiing, and I got out probably kind of late morning, and the sun was kind of peeking in and out of the clouds, so that helped. And then something switched. It was like the wind picked
Yeah.
up or the temperatures just dropped. I mean, my friend and I, we quit early, and then her friends, they stayed out a little bit longer, but by the time they got to the bottom, they were like, wow, we are now cold. So it's kind of amazing how things that
Completely.
sometimes humidity levels can have a lot to do with how cold something
Yeah.
feels.
And then when the shade comes in too, right? So the later you get in the day and that shade hits, and man, it just feels like it drops
Yeah.
significantly. Because we had the same thing yesterday. We were at Beaver Creek
Yeah.
and we did not start until later. So it was probably closer to 1 when we got on the mountain. And same thing in the parking lot. I'm going, I don't need another layer. I could just have a shell on and one base layer. It's pretty warm. And then the last couple runs, I was definitely starting to think maybe I could have just grabbed one extra
Oh,
layer,
I
stuck it in a
know.
pocket or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We started doing mogul runs just to kind of get our body heat
Yes.
going and get us down.
Trees are that for me, but also I
Yeah.
like both. So it'll warm you right up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, totally. We went down Lindsay's and some of the other mogul front on the front side and everything, and just kind of sought out
mhm.
something with a little bit more of a challenge to get the blood pumping. But I did get over to Game Creek Bowl finally yesterday, so I got to
Ah,
ride the new 6-pack lift. And you know what? There was hardly any lines at all. We were almost skiing
oh,
right up to the
nice.
lifts. Um, 11, 3, 7, 2, like it was pretty amazing. So I think even though a lot of kids still are out of school, I think people have headed back home and the crowds aren't as big.
Yeah,
The passes aren't restricted anymore. That restriction was lifted
right.
as of Sunday. So I had a good day. How about you? Did you have many lines?
Yeah, now I have a big blister from uphilling this weekend or last week. So I was taking it a little bit easy. So only like 5 runs or so.
Okay.
Lines were towards the end. I was down on the Bachelor Gulch side of things.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the lift right by the Ritz did start to fill up. And I find that happens kind of towards the end of the day, just as people are moving from one
Yeah.
side of the mountain to the other.
Yep. They didn't get
But
back.
not too bad. It's never bad on a Sunday at Beaver Creek. So
Yeah.
it's always kind of a nice way to avoid the crowd. So just kind of that normal little just migration pattern that you'll kind of see towards the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I think a lot of people are returning back to work, like the banks and
Yep.
the post offices all had the holiday off yesterday. Some workplaces had that holiday. So I think it'll
Hmm.
be even more clear today
Yeah.
and easy to get wherever you need to go. And I see people on the move, getting to work, getting to the slopes. 8:30 is when we
Yeah.
open things. But yeah, but it looks like a winter wonderland out there. It really does.
It definitely is. The flakes are actually getting bigger, which are like the
Yeah.
really pretty ones, right? Where they're nice and fluffy and
Yeah.
soft. So that's kind of what I'm seeing change. So, and hopefully
Yeah.
that means it'll stick nicely. I don't know if that's science or not, but
I
I'd
know.
like it to think it is.
Yeah, yeah. It's and temperatures right now, it says we're kind of in the low teens up on Vail, Beaver Creek Mountain. I know like Vail Pass was about 12 degrees this morning. It was 22 down in Edwards. So it's kind of
Mhm.
interesting, and then as you go up, usually it does get colder. So no matter how good it feels down at the base, it's quite different at about 11,000 feet. So it's always good to dress a bit warmer. I think the full balaclava, the helmet,
For
make sure
sure.
your vents are closed in your helmet. If you are cold, sometimes that's something that can be a game changer. You don't know your vents are
And then I
open.
like a little hat underneath my helmet on days like this
Oh,
too, just to add a little extra warmth. Because
yeah,
I get cold, so
yeah, yeah,
it's a nice little
definitely,
tip.
definitely. I like your mittens. Let me see these. Are these
Oh,
new?
they're kind of Christmassy, but they're warm. So
I love it. I love it. Cool, cool. All right. Well, we've got a lot more of the show to tell everyone about. Once again, 3 inches new at Beaver Creek and 2 inches new at Vail. With more on the way, we have a winter weather advisory happening now until 6 a.m. on Wednesday. Stay tuned. We're going to give you your Vail Daily headlines and your road report.
Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery stands for providing the highest quality care to our unique patient population here in the mountains.
I think that what makes us unique is that we really are practicing groundbreaking techniques, yet, we practice it in a small town environment. Our patients are our neighbors and our kids go to school with their kids.
I think every one of our docs treat their patients like their family. Our goal is to keep you active, doing the things you want to do, and we'll map out a road to success to get you there.
Hi, I'm Carrie. Welcome to Knapp Harvest and the beautiful bounty of Knapp Harvest. We have here a lot of local produce, organic, from our hardworking farmers up and down the valley. So look at all the different apples. We work with all sorts of different apples. If you haven't ever done an apple tasting, it's a great idea. Please come here for the freshest produce possible. We have recipe ideas. We have fresh Knapp Ranch mushrooms to put in your stuffing or whatever you'd like to create. Come see us. You can get everything from your fresh flowers on the table all the way to desserts. So Knapp Harvest is located in Eagle Ranch on Sylvan Lake Road, right next to Color Coffee. We're open 7 days a week. Come see us for all your gift and stocking stuffer needs. We have lots and lots of gifts as well.
Here's a look at what made headlines in today's Vail Daily for Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023. Are you getting in the habit of saying 2023 yet? Oh, well, here we go. On the cover, you could see a winter wonderland, and that's what it looks like yesterday and even today. Snow covers the trees last week in Beaver Creek. The holiday season was a wintry one with multiple rounds of snow and more on the way for 2023. Also in today's paper, just waiting on sundown. All lifts on Vail Mountain, from the Black Forest to the Wapiti surface lifts, are no running as guests wait the new Sundown Express. So that's going to be coming out of Sundown Bowl. It will join Chairs 3, which is that is the Wildwood Express, and Chairs 7, which is Game Creek Express. Those will all converge on the same area next to Wildwood Restaurant and the top of Ricky's Ridge. So pretty cool that we finally have the resort's platters, which haven't even been operational since the 2021 season. So you can read more about that on page A3 in today's paper. And then, like we do pretty much every early part of the week, we bring in the time machine. So this is information from 10 years ago, this week 20 years ago, 30, 40, 50, even 60 years ago. And did you know that 50 years ago, House Minority Leader Gerald Ford and his wife Betty visit Vail for the holidays? And that created a long legacy of the couple coming back to Vail and Beaver Creek, owning homes in the location and dining at the restaurants, presiding over tree lightings, all sorts of things. So it's kind of neat to look at what was going on all these decades ago in today's time machine. And then also, here's what is happening in our world right now. Town Talk, Vail Live. We want to see your photos. We want to find out who's got a birthday. You can send things by doing hashtag Vail Live and try to get your picture in the paper. Or you can also go to towntalk@vaildaily.com, send your information in by noon the day before you want it printed, and they'll try to get it in there for you. But lots in today's paper. You can always grab your copy in newspapers from East Vail all the way down to Gypsum, or you can always just go online. VailDaily.com can give you these details and so much more. And with our weather again today, it's nice to know when there's some road closures, and the Vail Daily website, VailDaily.com, usually has those breaking news alerts for you as well. So it's a good way to keep in tune with what's happening in the Vail Valley. You miss a day, you miss a lot. But right now, let's talk about those roads, because it was slow moving coming in here. We are snow-packed, icy conditions, much slower speeds than normal, a different scene than yesterday morning. So allow plenty of time to get to where you need to go, because there's nothing worse than trying to be in a hurry when we got these road conditions like this. And your lack of planning does not constitute an emergency for somebody else. So get out there, get out the door if you need to get someplace today. And keep in mind that we've got traction laws in effect all over the high country right now. So it's going to be a little bit slower moving up on Vail Pass, the approaches to the Eisenhower Johnson tunnels, Tennessee Pass, Battle Mountain Pass, and even going down Valley too. There was snowpacked in Edwards, where I commuted in from. So do slow it down out there. And it won't really be improving much of the day because we're going to be having snow for much of the day. But give the plows a little bit of extra time. And I'm still saying this, the side streets, the roundabouts, the stop sign, the four-way stops, parking lots, they still have a lot of snow, and they're trying to do a lot of snow removal in those areas. So give them plenty of room out there. But we had a fun time talking to Ken Hovey yesterday. He was on the show with me, and he usually does this paddle with a bunch of area kayakers, stand-up paddleboarders, rafters. They do this thing. It's kind of like a polar bear club, if you will. But John LeConte from the Vail Daily, he had a chance to go down to Glenwood Canyon and talk to some of the crazy people that do this every single New Year's Day. And here's more from John LeConte's On the Hill.
Hello and welcome to the Vail Daily's On the Hill. It's New Year's Day, the 1st of January 2023. Out with the Polar Bear Club here. Ken, how was the run this year?
It was so fun. You know, in years past, it's definitely been colder. Today it was a daytime high of 38. The water is still ice cold. There's actually chunks of ice floating down the river with you. But it was awesome. Water levels were at a perfect level. Great crowd turned out, and definitely my favorite way to ring in the new year.
Ken Hovey, he's our veteran paddleboarder out here. Were you able to just simply step onto your board and step off completely water-free?
I did. I did fall in once, but that's the beauty of the right gear. I've got a dry suit on, so underneath this I'm completely dry. But it was awesome. There was like 30 people that turned up.
So as we get up here, let's kind of turn and show the scene. Ken, looks a little diminished from years past, but still quite a lively bunch.
Yeah, I think the biggest group we ever had was like 100 one year. I'd say today in total we've had 30 to 50 people. The cool thing is catarafts, rafts, kayaks. I think I was the only person on a stand-up paddleboard. Just a whole lot of fun. And now we hang out at the takeout and crack celebratory beers. I had it in my life. So cheers and Happy New Year to all the Vail Daily watchers. And to you, John, I love your program, by the way. On the Hill, we're gonna have to call you On the Eddy or On the River.
You can't find more of a pro than Ken Hovey. Oh, perfect.
I'll get you one. I got one.
All right,
truck.
thanks. I'll take you up on that. Thanks to you, the viewer, for tuning in to On the Hill. John LeConte, Ken Hovey signing off on New Year's Day.
Happy New Year.
All right, so funny. You got to hand it to Hovey. Yep, that's what they do. They crack their beer when they get to the takeout. So let's bring in Heather, who is braving the elements out there in Lionshead right now. And Heather, yeah, so that is a New Year's Day tradition that's been going on for decades, where
It's amazing.
where they get the dry suits and they go out and and I even read the article yesterday, and there's a couple of guys doing some rolls. I mean, they were like electing to get wet, but they said, well,
That is so cold. I can't even imagine doing that.
I know, they're like, it wasn't as cold this year, so we're gonna do some rolls and everything. But yeah, but you know what? They love it. It gets them out on a
Yes.
day like today, and that's the thing is, sometimes you think cold weather, you just want to be inside, you just want to go into the gym, but there are some ways to go outside and have fun. Of course, we do the skiing and snowboarding, but there's other kind of fringe sports that maybe people don't know about. Maybe they don't yak track or snowshoe or skin up the mountain.
Right.
And now's a good time to maybe get into a new sport.
Yeah, I think, and we've been talking a lot about New Year's resolutions and what type of goals you're setting for the year. And I think picking a new activity that you can enjoy is way more fun than just telling yourself you're going to go to the gym 3 days a week. Or I think Trish and I were talking about getting on your Peloton 3 days a week. It's a little harder sometimes to not necessarily have a reason to do that.
Yeah.
But if you decide you're going to stand up paddleboard or you're going to go learn how to uphill. This is only my third season uphilling. I'm a split boarder. And that's a really great way to stay active in the winter and not something I had tried until just a few years ago. So I think trying to find something that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be the same thing your friend does or anything else. It's just a great way to really motivate you to be able to get more active this time of year.
Well, and you know what? I had some neighbors that ended up hiking up someplace in Edwards where they could, I mean, it was from a distance, but they could watch the New Year's Eve fireworks at Beaver Creek.
Oh,
And
amazing.
they took this
Yeah.
super cool picture, and even though the visibility was, you know, a little bit sketchy, I was like, are they going to be able to see anything? Well, the clouds kind of broke. They were able to see it, and it was just so neat to see that view at night. And you know, you can buy
Yeah.
some really good headlamps that allow you to get out there. We've got these short days right now where the sun's going down,
Right.
you know, in the 5 o'clock hour, and you're like, wait, we got so many hours left of the evening. But even just doing that on a neighborhood trail, pretty much any of the hiking
Yes.
trails that you enjoy in the summer. And a lot of times somebody's already broken the trail. You know, you can go up
Yeah.
Davos, you can go up Booth Falls, you can go on these different trails. And sometimes you don't even need the big snowshoes. Yak Tracks
Agreed.
can do a
Yeah.
great job.
Sometimes I actually want to break out the snowshoes and it's already been, you know, if you're not the first one out after a big dump, especially with as many of us in the valley that do get outside, like you said, it's already broken. You don't really need them. You just maybe some warm boots so that
Yeah.
at least your feet are staying dry and you can really get out and explore pretty easily in a lot of the neighborhoods around here. I know that's the same for me in Edwards. I'm in Homestead and there's a ton of trails right from my door that we can go explore and get up pretty high and see some really beautiful views as well.
Yeah, yeah, and then kind of enlisting that help with friends doing it as well, kind of as a motivator, and it's a good way to connect. You know, a lot of times maybe you've been too busy, and then if you can have a standard like, hey, we're gonna hike up something, we're gonna snowshoe up something,
Yeah.
it just gives you a chance to reconnect and catch up with that person, and also burn some calories and get some fresh air. I think fresh air is so important, and it actually can help you stay healthy just by
Yeah.
you know breathing in the
That
fresh air.
vitamin D as well, just from the sunshine, like getting out when it is nice and sunny outside. Even if it's a shorter time, we do have so many nice sunny days, and so it gives you a chance to get out and explore that.
Yes, yes, perfect. All right, well, we'll keep on talking about this topic. We got to take it to a break right now, but we'll come back. We've got more Vail Valley Live. Stay with us.
We're for the fashion forward and budget minded. We've got the brands that set you apart, the style to make you stand out, the looks that let you shine. We are for the dreamers, the doers, and the savers. Outlets at Silverthorne. Elevate your savings. Save up to 70% on the best designer brands. Visit outletsatsilverthorne.com for current sales and events.
Hi, my name is Carrie Mae Wack, and I'm with the Eagle Valley Library District, and today I am at our Eagle branch featuring our Spark Studio. So this is our maker space lab, or the place where you can come try new technology. We have software, hardware, pretty much anything that you can use to make and create. We have some sort of version in our maker space. Thanks for checking out the Spark Studio with me today. Make sure to come back to the Eagle Public Library and check it out for yourself. Hello, my name is Carrie Mae. Did you know that your local Eagle Valley Library District has after-school programming? We have What's Up Wednesdays in Eagle, we have Thumbs Up Thursdays in Avon, and Friday Fun Club in Gypsum. These activities are geared towards elementary-aged students and include art, science, and interactive activities. Either call your local branch today or check out evld.org to see what's happening after school at your library this week.
This weather and mountain report is brought to you by Outlets at Silverthorne. Elevated savings.
We are back. Want to give you a look at the weather this morning, let you know what's going on. We did get 3 inches new of snow in the last 24 hours at Beaver Creek, 2 inches new at Vail yesterday from that storm. Now, it is snowing outside right now. Little flakes. It's been snowing since I was up in the wee hours this morning, and we expect to see maybe 1 to 2 inches today, another 1 to 2 tonight, and a little more in the higher elevations. We're under a winter weather advisory as well from now until 6 a.m. on Wednesday. And that snow is going to be picking up mostly this afternoon. So what we're seeing now is just a precursor of what's to come. And we could see some winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, it could gust to about 20 miles per hour. So a little windier overnight, which could cause some drifting on the roads, some visibility issues. Temperatures today, mid-20s, overnight in the teens. And then tomorrow, similar, we'll see a little break in the action and maybe a little bit of sunshine coming through, partly cloudy conditions on Wednesday. And our high will be in the upper 20s. And then Wednesday night, with the clouds moving out, it's going to drop into the single digits. And then Thursday, we should have a really nice day. Sunshine, almost 40 degrees in some locations. But then with the absence of clouds, the temperatures will drop into the single digits once again. And then Friday, another chance of snow. So we're just in this snow cycle. We're like in a snow machine, it seems like. Already over 150 inches on Vail Mountain, Beaver Creek, just a little bit behind that in the season-to-date totals. And if you were here this holiday week, wow, you got a lot of opportunities to ski some nice powder. I was out there yesterday, and the snow in Game Creek Bowl and Northwoods, and even just right around Chair 2 Avanti Express was just awesome, and hardly any lift lines at all. So that's the really great news. Get back in Blue Sky Basin. I got back there last week. That was beautiful. Beaver Creek, I was there over the weekend, so I've gotten in quite a bit of skiing in for you. I've been testing the product to let you know what it's all about, and it is all good out there. 8:30 is when the mountains open, and we're pretty much seeing basically not quite 100% of the mountains open, but pretty much everything that you're going to want to ski is rideable out there right now and open for you. And in fact, the only lift we're waiting on at Vail is the new Sunup Express. But let's bring in Heather right now and find out. Okay, look at, I can see the snow accumulated on your hat.
I know, it's just getting worse, right? Look at that. It's crazy.
Worse or better, depending on how you look at it.
Or better.
Yeah, better. We're glass half full kind of
this
people.
This is good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You made it over to the ice rink, and we've got that beautiful ice rink right here in Arabelle. And then a couple other places you go. Solaris is another place to rent skates and go ice skating. And then also over at Beaver Creek, you can ice skate there too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think they'd have to clean this off a little bit before anybody can start ice skating on it, because there's quite a bit of snow accumulation on top, but it's very pretty. And I think with the Reveille backdrop as well, it's just really pretty over here. I haven't been in this section, I think, in a little bit. So
yeah, it's such a pretty little area, and the architecture of that Arabelle building is so amazing. It kind of reminds me of like a European, a little Bavaria, especially with the snow coming down. And Ken Hoving and I were talking a little bit about a couple of areas where they have rinks that aren't, set rinks like we have here day in, day out, but makeshift rinks. So they do at the Eagletown Park. Now we've got skating on Nottingham Lake. So we've got that for people to enjoy.
We used to have it in Edwards by the field house. I'm not sure if they set it up this year. Yeah, I do recall that.
I think they have 2 rinks in that area. So, but
this snow sport I do not do. There's, it seems like it would hurt quite a bit when you fall. So it's not one I have tried.
I know. The other day, my friend's kids were going to go, and we just gotten off the hill from skiing. And so they all had their, snow pants and jacket and everything. And I go, don't you want to keep your helmet on? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh my gosh, the fall on the ice rink is going to hurt a lot more than on the slopes. But they didn't want to do it.
In theory, I would be okay at it with like my yoga and dance background. But, I have no idea. That's a very little tiny thing that you're skating on top of. So it probably doesn't translate quite as easily.
I know, totally. So don't be afraid to wear your helmet. It's a good little thing to do, especially if you're an adult. You have further to fall. But hey, one thing that's interesting about the rink over at Beaver Creek is that many people don't realize that it houses a wonderful performing arts center that seats about 535 people. So when people say, hey, how do I get to the Villar? Like, where's the building? I always say, well, it's actually underground. It's underneath the ice rink. It's underneath all those shops and galleries. You take that escalator and you get to that main level or the top level, and then the main level is below. Celebrating 25 years right now. They just revealed their Dale Chihuly chandelier, which, Dale Chihuly, that was going to be in the works for when they opened, but they never got quite to that point. So 25 years later, they've got it. But a few shows coming up. Old Dominion, let's pull that one up because this is going to be great. Now, this is an awesome country music band, and they are going to be here for a fundraiser, the Rocky Mountain Ski Fest, which brings in bands and executives from the music industry. It's Skiing Funds the Cure. It benefits the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation. And this band has been a CMA and an ACM Group of the Year, and they've had numerous hits, including Songs for Another Time, Hotel Key. I know a lot of these tunes. It's a little higher of a ticket price. It's $150. But I mean, you're seeing this band that tours big stadiums, and it is for a great cause. So it's a good fundraiser, and that's going to be coming up. I've seen this skiing for the Funding the Cure for the Rocky Mountain Ski Fest. I've seen some of these private concerts at like the Vail Chop House, and the talent is just amazing. So limited availability on this one. This is going to be January 10th at 7 p.m. So look into this in case you're interested. And you can listen to some of their tunes as well. They've got the top tracks that they're going to have for you. If you just scroll down, they've got all the different Break Up With Him, I Was on a Boat That Day, No Such Thing as a Broken Heart. They've got a lot of hits. So this is a good show to think about. But just this week, we've got another show coming up, and this is going to be the Mountain Film on tour. So they're making a stop at Beaver Creek, and we just saw one of the trailers for this yesterday for the, which one was that one called? Where was it? Shoot.
I forget too, Trish.
Breaking Trail, yeah. Breaking Trail. Oh yeah, with Emily Ford. Okay, yeah, so we've got about 6 films that are going to be showcased in this Mountain Film event on Thursday, the 5th. So really cool. Tickets really affordable at $15. And it's just a neat thing to do. So, and Mountain Film was actually founded in 1979. And it's one of America's longest running film festivals. The annual event is held every Memorial Day weekend in Telluride. And then so Mountain Film is just kind of showcases a lot of things that, the outdoor lifestyle, everything. So it's a really cool thing that we're bringing it here. And so just check this out. You can go to villarpac.org and get some details on this. I'd get your tickets for this because I think this could easily sell out. And just such a great way to utilize the Villar Performing Arts Center. So this is going to be pretty cool. So check that out if you can.
Let's toss to the trailer.
Okay. Oh, yeah. We got a movie trailer for it. So let's take it to that.
the extraordinary. We're free to discover more together. Experience it for yourself this winter. Get your lift tickets today.
Hi, I'm Peggy Ziegler, fashion guru and stylist for the outlets at Silverthorne. I'm here to share with you an amazing place called the Colorado Welcome Center. We've got fabulous brochures on all the nearby places and towns and things to do right here while you're in Summit County and visiting the outlets at Silverthorne. And of course, pick up your Elite Savings Card booklet, offering you fabulous discounts and a rewards program too. See you soon.
Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery is kind of a one-stop shop. We have everything in-house.
We have cast techs, MRI machines, x-ray of course right at the clinic, physical therapy right at our clinic.
I'm going to get to the bottom of what your diagnosis is with all the resources we have, and that's what we do.
Well, we are back. I want to let you know about some things to look forward to in 2023. I know we had a big holiday week with a lot of events and activities, but hey, we're not stopping. We got a lot of things happening. And one of those is a fireworks celebration that'll be taking place in Avon over Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. So that is going to be just a few weeks away. So Saturday, January 14th, we're going to have fireworks over Nottingham Park in Avon. It'll start at 5:30, go to about 7. It's absolutely free. And basically, it's the fireworks we weren't able to use over the July 4th weekend. You know, we had some fire danger we were concerned about. So a lot of areas, especially in the high country where we do have wildland fires pretty commonly, we definitely try to mitigate that situation. So they didn't have the fireworks, but they need to use them up. So why not bring the whole family out for this? So you're going to get free hot cocoa, and they're going to have peppermint schnapps for the adults, limited quantities while these last. And then the fireworks coming up, it should be a really, really neat thing. What's really cool is to see the fireworks over the snow because it just reflects and it just looks different than what it does in the summertime. So 5:30 is kind of when they come in. That's when you can get the hot cocoa or the peppermint schnapps. And then the fireworks will begin at 6. And then the whole celebration will kind of wrap up at about 7 o'clock. So, the use of public transportation is always kind of encouraged for these big events in Avon because they have limited parking. So whether you're taking the eco bus in, you're walking, you're carpooling, it's a good way to go. So just put this on your calendar because this will be a really fun way to kind of celebrate this holiday weekend. And a lot of people will be in town for this with having that Monday off. So it's a pretty nice time that they're doing this right now. But all right, let's bring in Heather. She's been roaming around the Lions Head area, and it's still coming down out there, Heather.
Yeah, it has not slowed at all. In fact, it maybe just picked up a little bit. The flakes are a tiny bit smaller than they were before, but
Yeah.
it is coming down. So
Well-
if you're coming to the mountain, I think making sure you have those good visibility glasses or goggles is going to be important today.
I think so too. And you know what? Just it's coming down a little bit at an angle. It was mostly just
Yes.
coming straight down before. So something to think about. Okay, cool. But hey, let's get back to that topic about, kind of kicking people off on the right foot for the new year, whether it's picking a new sport that'll motivate you to get outside or to, get back in shape. So just finding the activity you enjoy. And we talked a little bit about the snowshoeing, yak tracks, that sort of thing. But even
Yeah, and
if
I
you're,
just looked at
yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
Tricia.
Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, this is just a small list. There's so many more things you could add. I think we need to add stand-up paddleboarding and kayaking based on the earlier segment to this list. So
Yeah.
don't look at that as like these are the only things you can pick. I think there are an abundance of activities, especially in the mountains here. And then
Yeah.
stuff that you can do if you'd prefer to stay warm and inside, there's options you can do indoors. But I think I think the thing that I always hear from people is, man, it's really hard just to go to the gym. And so
Yeah.
my thought on this one was, okay, I totally agree. It's
Yeah.
really hard for me if I don't have a reason that I'm going. So I think just picking a sport that you actually enjoy is a great way to really kick off this new year, help you hit some of those maybe goals or resolutions that you hit without it feeling like drudgery,
Yeah.
and more about like, how do I stay active in a way that's going to be fun, that I can enjoy where I live or enjoy just doing something new, which by the way is also really great for your brain. Because I think
Yes.
particularly, just keeping yourself engaged and excited is way more exciting than maybe just trudging away on something that, your friend does and that
Yeah.
you found you didn't actually like. That's okay. Pick something that's different. Maybe invite your friend to try it with you. And that's
Yeah,
a nice way
exactly.
to kind of branch out.
Well, and you know what? I like on your list you had ski snowboard. So like let's say
Yeah.
that you've kind of mastered one of those, either skiing or snowboarding, but maybe you have some friends that are more of a beginner level. Then maybe you get to that level too. Maybe you pick up skiing, maybe you pick up snowboarding, and then you get to feel that beginner mentality again. Or let's say that your kids are only doing the green beginner runs. And that way you're like, okay, I'm gonna get on skis for the first time too, or I'm gonna get my snowboard out. I wasn't very proficient at that, so let me try and get
Yeah.
better at that. So it's something that you're not just waiting because you're at such an
That
expert
is a great
level.
idea.
So I know people that sometimes do that, especially when their kids are little. They'll get out the
Yeah.
sport that they're less good at just because they're on that beginner train anyway with these kids. So then they can just kind of
And
get
you're
better.
showing your kids too that it's okay to not be great at everything, which I
Yeah.
think is also just setting such a great example. Like, look, mom and dad fell, and that's
Yeah.
okay too. Like, it's all right for us to not always be perfect. And I
Yeah.
think it's harder if you're really great, like you said, if you're already an excellent skier and your kids are just learning, they don't see you fall.
Yeah.
And I love that idea. Try out something different.
Yeah, perfect. So that's kind of neat to kind of mix it up as well, just even within kind of those outdoor sports that we see. But then also, if you want to be indoors, like the yoga, and I think it's such a
Yeah.
compliment to your cardio and everything is the yoga and the breathing, the movement, the balance. You and I were talking about balance
Yeah.
work before the show, and I notice when I'm not regular doing yoga, boy, my balance starts getting off, and it really like I was like, what? But I can't really, I can't just do this off the couch. It's like you gotta move it or lose it. You gotta stay with it.
Yeah, and I think yoga is such a great complement to literally every sport.
Yeah.
I am a pretty obviously regular yoga practitioner as a teacher myself, but I'm also an endurance athlete. In the summer, I mountain bike, I uphill, and I snowboard. In the winter, I'm always biking, I'm always running. And so to me, when I added yoga to that mix, I noticed a huge improvement in just my other sports because,
Yeah.
like you said, the balance aspects of it, we use that a lot more than you realize. And so having an activity that really helps to encourage that in a way that you probably aren't just standing on one leg normally. I mean, I do sometimes, but
Yeah.
I'm weird. And then also just flexibility. I will always hear people say, oh, I'm a runner or I'm a cyclist, and so my hamstrings are tight. Well,
Yeah.
me too, and my hamstrings aren't actually that tight because you stretch them a lot in a yoga class.
Yes. Yeah,
So
you
it's a
definitely
really
do.
great way to balance those things out.
And you also put in there climbing, and there are so many beautiful places to climb in the summer, like out by Walcott or on your way down by Red Cliff. But rock climbing, we've got a really great rock climbing community here, especially with some of the
Yeah.
kids. And the Big Eagle Climbing Wall is such a great place, and they do competitions where they bring in some really top climbers. Of course, during the GoPro Mountain Games, we've got that international competition. But that's really cool, and I love like anytime I can get on a climbing wall, I'm like, sign me up. And of course, I'm not doing anything very hard, and I've done a little bit outside of this, and it's like once you accomplish it, you're like, wow, I can't believe I somehow scaled that rock wall out by Walcott or wherever
Yeah,
I
it's
was.
definitely not something I do very often, but it's really fun and very challenging for me. I'm
Yeah.
somebody who I have a weird fear of heights. It's not all the time. It's in certain situations. And actually staring at the wall in front of me helps. So as
Yeah.
long as I don't look down, it's a little bit better. But you use muscles in climbing that you don't use, at least I don't
Yeah.
use in any other situation. So again, another way to challenge yourself, challenge your brain. Where do you put your hand next? I'm a terrible climber, so I don't have all those skills here, but
Yeah.
that is always hard for me. Like, where do you go next? And so again, another way to try to confuse what you're used to doing,
Yeah.
and use muscles you're not used to using, which is a great way to grow and develop. So
Exactly. And you know what? And in any of these sports, there's usually a community built around them. I know the Go Range Gravity Alliance, that's a relatively new nonprofit with for the ladies to get out there and do these outdoor sports, but it provides some education, provides some community, meet some people to go with. So that, there's the Vail Uphill Facebook group that people can
yeah,
join. If you go to a climbing gym, like you're going to find people and they're going to help you. And so many people want to share their knowledge with you as well. So it really is just another way to build friendships, relationships. It's just,
yeah. Such a
community.
great point because you hear that a lot in the Valley, right? It's hard to make a friend, especially as an adult. And I
Yeah.
think that's very true. But just like you said, joining those communities, that's honestly the way that I know most of my friends is either
Yeah.
from mountain biking or from yoga or one of those things. So really great way to find like people and to
Okay.
learn from others that are better than you.
Okay, perfect. And I know another thing that you mentioned in your slates that we were putting up on screen, finding a mentor or a coach. Because, like,
Yeah.
we can just get in the routine of doing the same thing over and over again, but to have someone that kind of gives you benchmarks and goals, I think that is a great thing. And here's another thing I want to do. I want to start lifting weights more. I think strength training, that is so key, especially as you get older.
Yeah, those kind of 6 tips are really around to how you get started, but strength training is the one I will go back to every time because it can help you no matter who you are, and it becomes more important as we age.
Yes.
So especially we start to kind of lose muscle mass. I think it's actually as you hit 30, which is not old at all.
Yeah.
And so the more that we can get into that routine and really start to do it, the better. I'm always extremely impressed. There's actually I think it was on Instagram, a challenge recently from one of the Instagram instructors and like an 85-year-old lady on doing planks. And the old lady won. And it was amazing to watch, like how strong
Oh
she
my
was.
gosh.
I think
Yeah.
it was like a 9-minute plank. It was insane. So you're
Oh,
not too
wow.
old. Like you're never too old to get in the gym. Again, finding somebody to help you if you're just getting in there, helping you to show, like learn what to do and the right way to do it. But extremely important as a complement to whatever fun activity you've done.
Yeah.
And then you get to say, I'm not just going to the gym, I'm training for
Yeah.
uphilling or rock climbing or whatever else. It just becomes part of that other fun activity that you're doing.
Yeah, and especially if you sign up for something, like maybe you sign up for a 10K, a 5K, a half marathon, something like that. You could do it in the spring, but this will get you going. Also, if you've got a trip to Mexico planned like I do, that's just another incentive to get into a swimsuit.
Great
So,
incentive. I love that. Yeah.
you know what?
Or
Too
maybe you sign up
bad.
for that race right before your Mexico trip. So in that situation, right, so that you have a goal to train for, and then you're all ready for
Another
Mexico.
goal. I know. So too bad we ordered truffle fries yesterday at Opry. I was thinking about giving up fries for the
balance.
new year, but it didn't happen yesterday. My new year might have to begin on another date. I'm not going to go off the calendar year, but who knows? I
You
call
never-
this.
every day, every single decision, right, is a
Yeah.
new time that you get to choose.
Okay, well, I know. I told the people I was with, I said, let's not order fries. And then we got 3 bowls of them. I was like, oh my God. Okay, but enough of that. All right, let's go. Let's take it to a commercial break. We'll come back. We've got a bit more of Vail Valley Live to get you started the first week of the new year. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
In the extraordinary, we're free to discover more together. Experience it for yourself this winter. Get your lift tickets today.
We're for the fashion forward and budget minded. We've got the brands that set you apart, the style to make you stand out, the looks that let you shine. We are for the dreamers, the doers, and the savers. Outlets at Silverthorne. Elevate your savings. Save up to 70% on the best designer brands. Visit outletsatsilverthorne.com for current sales and events.
This Weather and Mountain Report is brought to you by Grand Hyatt Vail, Hyatt's newest luxury resort in Vail.
All right, we got 3 inches new reported on Vail, or Beaver Creek Mountain, 2 over at Vail in the last 24 hours, and it's been snowing all morning, and we're going to see that snow continue today. We're in a winter weather advisory from now until 6 a.m. on Wednesday, and the snow could be a little bit heavier this afternoon. That's what the National Weather Service is saying, mainly after 3 p.m., but we're getting it already this morning, and that's causing a little bit of havoc on the roads as well. Looking at the Vail snow report, wow, already 153 inches season to date right now. We could get maybe 1 to 2 inches today and tonight, and then we taper it off for Wednesday, and then we go again on Friday. So we're going to be seeing some more snow this week. The temperatures a little cool right now on Beaver Creek Mountain, 11, 10 over at Vail. When I left Edwards this morning, it was about 22 degrees down there, and without the sun, it's going to feel a bit cold, and the wind's been picking up as well, especially tonight. I think they're saying it could gust as much as 20 miles per hour. So it could be a little tough visibility situations out there on the interstates on the higher elevations, maybe Vail Pass, approaches to Eisenhower Tunnel. So do be aware of that. Now, the next couple of days look like this. For your Wednesday, we're going to see a little bit of sunshine. We'll be in the upper 20s. Overnight, we'll drop down to the single digits. Thursday, probably the warmest day of the week with a high of 40. And then overnight low, still dropping down to the single digits. Then Friday, we bring in that snow once again. So that's a quick look at your weather. I would definitely wear the goggle that has the light for the flat light lens. So what we mean by that, it's a lighter lens. It helps you see some of the bumps, the rollers, when we have these like kind of white out conditions. It's not a bright sunny kind of day. Then you want the darker lens. And if you're going to get a pair of goggles, it's good to get the ones that have the interchangeable lenses. I know that it's probably a higher cost, but it's almost like 2 goggles in one. And if you take care of your goggles, they will last a long time. You can either get that goggle sock that fits over. You can always put them into that goggle sleeve, which also acts as a goggle cloth. You never want to take like a paper towel or anything like scrub off your goggles, like that's going to scratch your lenses. So always make sure you have that nice goggle cloth. Some jackets come with it like already built into a pocket. So goggles are going to be key today. No sunglasses whatsoever. We've seen what has happened to Heather. She's got it all over her hat. That's going to go in your eyes. Yeah, we don't want the goggles today. Hey, what does it look like down there? People getting in line? Oops. Oh, got a little frozen.
We'll let her reload.
Okay.
Let's talk about the annual Winter Fest.
Okay, we're going to let her refresh the feed right there. But let's talk about the annual Winterfest that's going to be going on right now. This is brought to you by the town of Vail, and this is an ice installation. So it begins this week, and it's right along Gore Creek Promenade. So right below the deck at El Segundo, right outside of Mountain, right there at like Sweet Basil. You're gonna find it right there in the promenade. The bridges, we got the pedestrian bridge and then the international bridge behind there. So this is a collaboration with visual artist Ben Roth, Paul Wurton, and his team from Alpine Ice. They're going to create the season's Vail Winterfest. So they bring about 25,000 pounds of sculpted ice. And this is going to be all along Gore Creek. And then they light it up. It's really a cool thing. This is pictures from last year. So you could see these creative ice sculptures and then the lighting. This is going to be really cool. So you can check this out. DiscoverVail.com will give you some details. But it's the 16th annual Winterfest. So it's been going on for some time. And it's pretty cool. Now, Heather, have you ever seen this? What they do right down by the Gore Creek with the ice sculptures? Oh, it's
No,
really
I used to
neat.
go when we had the lights, but I haven't seen this one. So this is definitely on my list for this year.
Yeah. So I think they're going to be kind of just starting it this week, and then this will be on display for about a month, until the ice starts to melt and all that. So we've still got some time on this, but this is really kicking off right now. So this is super cool to see. But a few other things to do. We were mentioning maybe getting into a new sport. So there's a winter snowshoe tour that happens today and tomorrow. And this will be with the Betty Ford Alpine Gardens. So 10:30 to 11:30, you can snowshoe through the gardens. So it's kind of neat to see like what's going on, when everything is kind of dormant what's the change, and you'll have a guide with you, and they're going to help you talk about the mountain environments and everything. So this is pretty cool. But we're going to have it this 3rd and 4th, and then next January 10th and 11th. So this would be happening throughout the winter, midweek. And for more information, you can go to discovervail.com and search for the Winter Snowshoe Tour.
Well, lots of people getting in line now on both the lift and the gondola. So I think it's starting to kind of wake up around here. Tons of people walking in. So getting a lot busier in the last 10 minutes even. So it's fun to see.
I know. Well, we're going to be opening in just a couple minutes and everything. And if you're looking for something to do, hey, after the slopes close, we've got some fun things going on. We've got the Vail Comedy Show. So our buddy Mark Masters, he brings in these comedians from all over. We've got Sean Patton coming in, and this will be 7 to 9:30. And they've kind of changed venues. Sometimes they're at Bridge Street Bar. They've been down at Moe's Barbecue, down in Eagle before. Chasing Rabbits is going to get into this action by hosting some comedians there. So I think this should be pretty cool. So if you want to change it up a little bit, this is a 21 years and older show. Doors are going to be opening tonight at Chasing Rabbits at 7 p.m. and then the show is going to be at 8. So get your tickets early for this. And this should be pretty fun. But, a lot of these comedians have been on Conan, Comedy Central, The Tonight Show. They've been making the rounds. So to have them here should be pretty fun. And have you heard about Chasing Rabbits, Heather?
Oh, I keep hearing about it, and I still haven't made it over there, but it looks so fun.
Yeah. I got the tour before it opened. So I haven't been in there since they opened. They had their big Roaring 20s New Year's Eve party. I've seen a lot of pictures on social media about that. So I've seen little snippets of some of that area. But I think the comedy show would be a great excuse to go on in. They've got a speakeasy. They've got an arcade. They've got their Mediterranean restaurant. And then they have their library. So I love the fact that they have these different rooms. Yeah. Well, it's huge. It's about 13,000 square feet. Divided up into different places. So that could be your ticket tonight. Or no, tomorrow night, the 3rd. Yeah, so this is Wednesday night. So you got a little time to plan for this. So we got a lot of things going on out there. Looks like you got some instructors getting started. I think it might be a good way to start out your day on the gondola and just get up to the top. And then I think I'd take it straight down to Game Creek Bowl and do some laps on the new 6-pack chair.
Yeah, and there's plenty of trees there too. So, because that's always my go-to during this kind of weather is just stick near the trees. You can actually see where you're going. I think that's a perfect plan. Really, I always start on a gondola. Even at Beaver Creek, I will pick one of those gondolas at the beginning of the day just to stay warm.
Just to get warmed out. Hey, and Heather, last week, I think it was Saturday, we were over at Beaver Creek, and that was that day all that fog rolled in, and the visibility was really hard. So we were going up Larkspur Chair, and talk about not having any definition. And we're
that
like,
one's the worst for that.
we couldn't even see the poles on the lift towers going up. And then we were taking the catwalk all the way to head over to Bachelor Gulch. So until you got to a certain point, you're just like, we call it skiing by braille. We're like, okay, we think we're going the right direction. But I was just like, where's a tree? Yeah, okay, please. And brightly colored clothing. That's another good thing. On those really days.
Yeah, that does help.
It helps your group find each other if you can be wearing something that's a little more bright. But Heather, thanks so much for roaming around. Your hat has quite the accumulation on it right now. And we want to thank you for watching Vail Valley Live. You can join us tomorrow. We're here for you at 7:30 a.m. on Outside Television, as well as Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you then.